Last Thursday, we started Breakfast Stream Live in the kitchen. It was the first time that we had ever done something like that. It was the first time we had ever been able to do something like that. And the audience absolutely loved it. It was super, super cool. And today, I'm going to tell you exactly how we did it. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sunday. Now, if you've been watching Steven Vlog for almost any length of time, you probably know that we don't typically do product reviews. Maybe once in a blue moon. And it's not for lack of trying. I mean, I get emails from companies every week asking us to review things. It's never something I'm personally interested in taking a look at. It's not something that would necessarily help us or our production. However, recently I got an email from Hollyland and they asked if I wanted to review their Mars 400S Pro wireless transmission system. And I was like, that could be interesting. So I had them send it my way. Real quick, before we go any further, Hollyland didn't pay me anything to do this review, and they also don't get to watch this video before it goes public. However, I do get to keep the review unit. So let's start with what is the Hollyland Mars 400S Pro? Well, it's a wireless transmission system. It will take either an HDMI or SDI connection and send it wirelessly up to 400 feet line of sight. This basically removes the need for an HDMI or SDI cable wherever you would typically use one. Now, you generally would use a device like this when you're broadcasting like a large event. Let's say you were shooting a football game. You might have several people out in the field with cameras and transmitters, and they'd be sending back to a central location, which is then putting together a production. Or if you were on a commercial shoot for some sort of product, maybe your client is sitting in a chair watching everything on a monitor and it's presented to them wirelessly using something like this. Or on a film and TV set, it would be the director watching what's going on so they don't have to be that close to the action. So you're probably wondering, if I gave those specific examples as scenarios, why is this video titled Wireless Video for Twitch? Well, I'm a professional Twitch streamer, and God, it feels weird to say that, but I'm always looking for unique ideas, and being tethered by a cable does prevent some of those ideas. Now, there's a lot of reviews already online for the Mars 400S Pro, but none of them are from the perspective of someone who does what I do, who's a Twitch streamer. So I thought, by requesting this product, I could probably provide an interesting perspective and find out if maybe this fits for people who are in our space. I'm happy to report, I think it does. This review will focus primarily on how I feel Twitch streamers would use the device, but first, let's go over a few quick facts. Out of the box, the design is compact and light, but rugged. Not sure exactly what the material is, but it's definitely some sort of metal. It can connect to the shoe of your camera, but it also has a 1/4-inch screw mount underneath. It comes with one DC power adapter, presumably for the receiver, but both units will also run on Sony L-series batteries, which is what I used. They're not included, but readily available online. You can also use USB Type-C power from something like a power brick. The unit has 3 different modes: HD for an emphasis on picture quality, speed for an emphasis on low latency, and balance for a happy medium. The latency seems impressively low in every situation though. I imagine that most Twitch streamers would probably connect the receiver straight into an HDMI capture device, like an Elgato. But the receiver can actually be connected straight to a computer or a router using an Ethernet cable, as long as you connect it with a USB Type-C to RJ45 adapter. Now, that adapter isn't included in the box, and I don't own one, so I couldn't test that feature, but other reviews seem to indicate that it works just fine. If you need an additional feed, the transmitter can actually broadcast to 2 different receiver units at once. But you may not need that because there's actually a mobile app. The free app from Hollyland allows you to see what you're shooting, take freeze frames, you can record clips, and it even has professional features such as waveforms, peaking, zebras, zoom in, and the ability to load in LUTs. You can transmit to 2 mobile devices while 1 receiver is connected, and up to 4 mobile devices if you don't need a receiver at all. Out of box, both my transmitter and receiver were already on the same channel and worked flawlessly. However, there's also a channel scan app that can help you find the best channel if you're having any sort of interference. Okay, you say, that's all well and good, But does it work for Twitch? Well, my concern was distance. Because yes, 400 feet is a lot, but that's line of sight, and streamers work from homes, full of walls, not a football field. We stream from upstairs, so I placed the receiver there for my initial test. And I was surprised how well it did. It worked fine in the kitchen, and it only started dropping frames once I walked through the house. And the journey from upstairs to downstairs seems particularly difficult too, because we have a garage in there, not to mention how difficult it must be to just send it down the stairwell. Hollyland obviously can't test every scenario, but I feel pretty comfortable saying that on the same floor, you should be able to get through 1 to 2 walls with relative ease. Third wall might depend heavily on distance and building material, of course. However, something to keep in mind is that HDMI cables are cheap, and you can very easily run a long HDMI cable just to get the receiver physically closer to you. I actually did that to test it in a live environment by getting the receiver about halfway down the stairs. Because of that, I had absolutely no frame drops during the breakfast stream we tested it in, and that was at 1080p 60 for over half an hour. If you're interested in seeing the performance for yourself, that breakfast stream VOD is up on the channel. So, what's the takeaway? Well, if you do truly have no obstructions between what you're trying to shoot and your streaming PC, then yes, this thing will work up to 400 feet. But for all of us normal people, the device isn't magical. Obviously, it's going to be limited through multiple walls, but again, a long HDMI cable might get you where you need to be, so that could be a moot point. Also, setup is remarkably easy. I literally just plugged in the HDMI cables and turned it on. That was it. That was all I had to do. Because it supports HDMI, it already fits into your existing setups. I know the Twitch crowd, and I know that they're using HDMI capture devices. But the big thing is, if you're doing Twitch professionally, and you have ideas for live streams that require freedom of movement, then this might be for you. Having this in my kit is letting me explore ideas that I just never thought possible, and that is really, really exciting as a creator. I'd like to end off this vlog by asking our regular viewers for ideas. Now that we have the capability of doing wireless video over on Twitch, what would you like to see? I mean, doing breakfast stream in the kitchen is a really cool start, and certainly we can do that again sometime, but I'm curious what your ideas are, because I bet you've got some good ones. That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for sticking through the whole way on this review. And again, thank you to Hollyland for sending these our way. We sincerely appreciate it. As always, let's meet back tomorrow, shall we?